Hello, Tangerinecat. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for having time for me. I'm really happy that I have found you because you're not the usual kind of music that I stumble across. Can you please introduce yourself and say who you are and what you're doing? I know you're both multi-instrumentalists, so it will be maybe a long list to tell, and where you're coming from music-wise, where you kind of got your footing, your start, and, your inspiration to do what you're doing now.
Okay. I'm Paul.
I'm Eugene.
Okay, who would you like to say, or should I say about it?
Ladies first, maybe. Let's do it easy. Ladies first. Please, Eugene, introduce yourself.
I'm not lady, sorry. I'm non-binary. My pronoun is he or they.
Okay, so
I can start. I'm making music from my childhood, and I'm studied in music school and then in music college in Ukraine. I'm from Ukraine, by the way.
Очень хорошо.
Очень хорошо. And then I studied just from various people, from different personalities, from sound engineers, and we did we traveled to Carpathian Mountains quite a lot, and we studied from local musicians and from local singers. So this is why we have this is why our music a bit unusual, I think.
Mm-hmm. The main reason.
Because we know a bit about roots, Ukrainian old style music, and we know it from first hands, from people that still play this kind of music. And it's very interesting, and we just traveled and studied from them and talked with them a lot, and it was very interesting. And also we studied a bit ethnic music in the music academy in Kiev, from courses.
Okay, so you studied music basically, and researched it in the Carpathian Mountains. Isn't this where Dracula is coming from? No, this is something else. But what was something with Dracula in Carpathia?
It's kind of connected, but the Dracula lived, I think, in Romania, but he lived in Transylvania, and part of the Ukrainian Carpathians was once part of Transylvania.
Okay, yeah, because somewhere I knew there was a connection.
Because the borders changed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it has the same atmosphere. This kind of music.
Yeah. I mean, this is how I found you basically, because you embody a little bit this Gothic kind of setting a little bit. So that's okay. But Paul just wanted to say something, so please go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit.
Okay, I'm Paul. I'm not from Ukraine. I'm from UK, but I lived in Ukraine for about 18 years. And I've been back in the UK for the last 5 years. But Tangerinecat was formed in Ukraine in 2008, so it's quite a long stretch ago now. And we toured all over Ukraine and Russia, and in the beginning, and then we came to UK, and we started touring UK. And recently, the last few years, we've been based in UK, and touring more intensely in UK.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this year has been a bit for music. So we had a tour in April. We were supposed to set out on tour, and it was very exciting, and we were all ready. And then we did 2 shows, and then the coronavirus thing all came along, and so we closed down all our shows, or they all got cancelled. At the same effect. And so now we're working on a new single, we just finished a new single and we're going to release that soon, but not over Christmas.
Okay, so thank you, but you didn't say where you come from music-wise. I mean, I know now you're 18 years in the Ukraine and stuff, so I guess this, of course, influenced you. But where are your roots coming from? What inspired you to make music? Where is this coming? Where did it all start? Where did it all start?
For me, that's very difficult to say, but I started playing the guitar, but when I was like 14 or something, but I don't play the guitar anymore for a long time. But I also studied in the Carpathian Mountains, same as Eugene. So, but I know I have a lot of different influences, I think, just from whatever we listen to, from the normal rock and then all sorts of different things. So it's hard to say. I play the Carpathian bagpipes, and so that has a lot of influence. Like the different modes that we play on those, they have a lot of influence on some of the other things I play as well.
Mm-hmm. So how do you go? Because I read you both are multi-instrumentalists, right? So you play quite a lot of different things. One you put out, I mean, in your biography is the hurdy-gurdy. That's a medieval instrumentation thing. So how do you go about with recording your things? Because before I joined you, I found I think it's your latest. No, it's not your latest. The Roses from Blood, the official music video. Just put it in my playlist, actually. So tell me a little bit about the process. How does a song appear? Or maybe we start even a little bit earlier. How did you choose the name Tangerinecat? What's the reason behind that?
I was going to say, what do you want me to say? We chose Tangerinecat. Well, it's because we named our band after a cat. And this cat was orange. So
okay, so the cat was first, and then the band.
Yeah, the reason we named it after a cat was because when we went through some very difficult times, we were hiding away in a garage, and we didn't see anyone apart from this orange cat, and so we decided that we would rename our band Tangerinecat.
I see. Okay, some difficult times. I guess you don't want to get into that, or do you want to? Because this is a little bit like what happened there. You hiding in a garage.
I know.
Okay. If you don't want to talk about it, I'm not gonna force you. But it's kind of you giving me here some stuff. I need to.
No, it's not. It's not a secret, but because when we lived in Ukraine, we were activists. It's like queer activists, anarchist activists, anti-capitalist activists, and we had a lot of persecution, and especially from local fascists, and even from government. And so even someone called me from early in the morning, maybe 5 a.m. every day, and with swearing. And it was horrible, and I already hadn't any friends, and I feel very isolated, and I had a lot of persecution, and so that's why we needed to go away from Ukraine. But I didn't plan to do it, but our concerts was cancelled. All our concerts were cancelled, despite we had successful tours, etc. And then we переехали.
Then we moved.
We moved, чтобы никто не знал, где мы живем.
We left where we were at the time, so that nobody would know where we were.
It was before we came to UK, and we met with Orange Cat in this place. And he was very friendly and very sweet. And when we left Ukraine, we decided that it was
a better name.
Yes.
So yeah, what was your name?
Good memory.
Yeah, a good memory. I get it. So there's still a connection.
It's like
there
the best. It's like symbol, like the best friend.
I see. So how was your band called before? How was it called as you were still in the Ukraine?
Dark Patrick.
Dark Party.
Yes.
Patrick. Dark Patrick. Okay, I get it. Okay, yeah, Dark. I can see Patrick. I don't know.
No, it's Irish philosopher. He was called Dark Patrick. He was from very poor background, from a village, but he was very wise, and this is why we called our band, because I'm from very poor background, and it was very relevant to me, this image of Dark Patrick. And we liked the legends about him a lot. It's not about something dark. It's about this person.
I see. Okay, yeah. And so he was a philosopher, you said?
Yes, Irish philosopher.
Okay, I have to check him out. I haven't heard of him yet. Okay, and so you needed basically to leave, and that's why you came back after 18 years from the Ukraine to the UK, because it was too dangerous for you there.
Yes, and there was, and it was like there was nowhere to move, like you were just stuck.
Okay. That's really anyway. It's it's a little bit. I hear stories like that, but it's so odd that this happens in Europe. I thought always, Europe is kind of, I mean, Ukraine is not in the European Union, right? So that there something like this cannot happen. But I have a friend from Belarus who just needed to move and stuff. So. Yeah, it's right in front of our doorsteps that people get displaced for their activism. I live in Germany, and here we have a lot of weird people, but activists, like you, would have no real precautions. I mean, we have Nazis as well, and people who don't like queer activists or whatever, but. Usually you are, sheltered by the government here. It's anyway. That's a sad story. Sorry. Let's try to go back to your music and talk about something nicer, maybe. So, how do you go about making your music? Because it's kind of from what I hear, very multi-layered, and I guess you put in all the instrumentation. Do you also play the drums? Because from what I just heard in your in the Roses from Blood, there's some distinctive drums in there. Did you play them as well, also live, or did you program them? This sound live to me actually, but I might not be good.
They're not live, no.
Okay.
Well, I think in Roses from Blood, I'm trying to remember. I think in Roses from Blood, it's like drum samples that we altered and changed. We do use a lot of percussion that is recorded like samples of different sounds, like random sounds that we've recorded. Like coffee grinders or just anything at all, and we do that quite a lot. And in all of our music, there's some strange little sounds that and effects that are all things that we've just recorded somewhere.
So it's kind of a little bit industrial in a way when you're using samples and you change them, like. Okay, maybe not exactly industrial like Einstürzende Neubauten, where we used, the jackhammer sounds and noises of machines to make music.
Yes, yes.
So what is your kind of your influences? I mean, you already said you're coming from rock, but you're making such a. I cannot really, or maybe let's start with this question. How would you describe your music to someone who doesn't know Tangerinecat? It will be it's a hard question, I know, but how would you kind of say what it kind of is? I mean, it's very genre fluid. It's not really this or that, that's for sure. But how would you say, if you go somewhere and can we play here? Can we play a gig? We make this kind of music.
Maybe it's like techno, industrial, psychedelic.
just put all the words in one line and that's it.
Electro.
Yeah, electro. With Carpathian roots.
Yes.
Okay, this Carpathian roots seems to be very important for you. So, what kind of can you maybe explain a little bit what's in your music with Carpathian? Because I heard your song and I think it was a hurdy-gurdy. There was some kind of going through sound, and then you just added things on it. So, but what is the Carpathian thing? I thought a little bit the drums are a little bit tribal or something, but so because you bring it up again, what's the Carpathian part of your music?
I think maybe the modes and possibly some of the modes that we use and the style and especially ornamentation in the music.
Especially ornamentation in whistle when you play.
Especially in the whistles, it's very Carpathian style.
Больше лады.
But mainly the modes that we use are quite.
And atmosphere.
And the atmosphere,
Yeah.
But it's created through the modes, благодаря.
Because of the modes.
Because of the modes, yes. This atmosphere. And in Carpathian Mountains, they used violins, bass, and drums, and hurdy-gurdy, something like this, violin and bass, and this is why like a bit atmospheric.
Yes.
And what's your fascination? I mean, you surely seem to love that. So how come that you are so fascinated by it? Did you grow up there, or I mean, Eugene could grow up there, I guess, but. Why? What's your connection to it? Why is it so important for you in your music?
Carpathian.
Carpathian music.
Because I lived in Kiev, but after Chernobyl, after several years after Chernobyl, we came to Western Ukraine, and I listened for the first time Carpathian music. And it was marvelous. I never heard anything like this. And then I read a lot of Carpathian myths and fairy tales. And in my music college, I even wrote work. It was college work. Big college work. It was called like Ukrainian magic and demonology.
Okay.
So it was more like for fun. I'm not a pagan or something like this. I'm an atheist, but it was, for some reason, it was fun for me. I liked some dark things like doom metal or like this demonology, magic or something like this when I was very young. And this music was very close to my heart and close to, I had a lot of problems when I was young. I'm from very abusive family, and it was very connected to me. It was almost similar, like doom metal for me, or something like this.
Okay.
Because when I was very young, I listened like Soviet punk, doom metal, death metal, or heavy metal, and I think this music is as dark and as heavy, like heavy metal, like doom metal for me. It's something very close to me. So it has a lot of it has a lot of influences on me.
It just resonated with you very, very well. I mean, I have to admit, I don't get the connection to doom metal, but I think it's more the feeling, maybe what you get from there. It's a little bit dark and how you say omnivorous? No, kind of
Maybe, yes,
a little bit, yeah, a
and
little
it's
bit
tragic or something.
yeah, and tragic and sad a little bit also. So I get this. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, in my brain, I wouldn't link it right directly to Carpathian music, even if I don't know much about it. But yeah, I mean, okay. So and how do you, Paul? How do you figure into this? So you met in Ukraine, I take it. So you were there on studies, or how did you end up in the Ukraine? That's not the most obvious choice for a UK person.
I don't know. I went to Ukraine just doing like some volunteer work in the beginning, and then I just kind of stayed there for longer than I anticipated, I guess. So it wasn't like it wasn't like a special plan or anything that I thought for a long time before. Or
life happened, basically.
It was a time in my life where I didn't know where I was going, didn't know what to do, and so that kind of, the direction kind of evolved through just opportunities that arose.
Okay. And so you seem to have been quite successful in the Ukraine as you were touring and having concerts and stuff. So did you live from music back then, or did you have other modes of income? I mean, this is a question you don't have to answer if you don't want to. It's a little bit delicate and prying, but as you mentioned, you were successful there and touring.
Mainly, just music was what we did for for a long time, and I taught some English for a while, but that was just like speaking classes and things, because they really needed people that spoke English.
A native speaker, yeah. Okay. And now back in the UK, do you have a label backing, or how do you? I mean, you're making your music, obviously. So how do you cope with this, situation? I mean, it just looks much better at the moment because in the UK already the vaccination has started, right? As far as I know. So there is light at the end of a tunnel. But how are you? How are you supporting yourself at the moment?
Just every day as it comes.
I see. Okay. So how you say you have your hand in the mouth or your foot in the mouth, or how do you say? There's an English saying for this that you take every day as it comes.
I don't know.
You're the English guy here.
I should know.
Yeah. No, but you're doing okay. You're not, you're not starving or something.
Yeah, we're surviving. Yeah, we're okay.
Okay.
We're still there.
And so I guess the most obvious thing you can do at the moment is work on new material, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're working on new music?
Yes, we just about we're going to. I think I said we're going to release a new single, and hopefully we may have released it a little bit earlier, but because it's Christmas, we're not going to release anything over Christmas because it's a really bad time to release music. So we're going to wait till next year now, and then we're going to release next single, and we're going to be working. We've got some other things kind of in the works that we're going to be working on while we kind of prepare to release this single, and then really hope to be able to start touring again, but we don't know when that's going to happen. Obviously,
I mean, from my prospects, it should be in summertime because summertime is already easier for COVID, even if it's still around, because you can go outside and have a open air or something where you can play and people can space apart if they are how you say, diligent, or if they are.
That's true, but I don't know how it is in Germany, but in UK, things tend to get organized like quite a long time in advance.
Yeah, but no, it's the same here. It's the same here. Like Wacken
so
or
if you don't know, it's a lot of bands rescheduled and then rescheduled again, and but we just cancelled everything because doesn't seem like there's any point in rescheduling until you actually have an idea when. So and then you need time to prepare, and so it's
about the preparing, did you consider doing some online shows? Some bands do streaming concerts and stuff. Is this an option for you as well?
I don't. We thought about it, but then we decided that we would rather work on music, and also we don't really have like a really good setup for doing like the kind of sound that we would like to give to people, and we didn't want to do it badly. So
no, I get it.
It's just people have experienced your music in concerts live. They've experienced with on proper sound, and so if you can't record it properly when you're doing a live show, it's kind of difficult.
No, I get it. You wouldn't be happy with it, and then you're not really into it. So, yeah, your energy will not be there. I get it. But how can I? How does a normal live show goes with you? Because you are both a multi-instrumentalist, and as far as I know, it's only the two of you in the band, and you cannot play everything at once. Even if you're a multi-instrumentalist, you're only one person at a time. So how is a normal concert setup? How can I, what can I expect if I see you one day live? How do you do it?
Do you want me to say it? So we. So Eugene has hurdy-gurdy. It's kind of, and Eugene is singing. So then on the floor there's a pedal board. If you like, I can explain our whole live setup. If that's interesting for folks. We have a pedal board on the floor with lots of different pedals for the hurdy-gurdy, and a vocal pedal is on the same board, and then we. Have a computer on stage, and we have a MIDI controller so we can control pads and sounds, and sometimes
so you mix them live. Then it's not like a backing track where you just play to, but you're making when you have certain pads, when you just play a certain cadence of music or something.
Yeah, it's like a combination of samples that you can trigger when you push the drum pads and
effects,
and some of them are like like just a drum track, but we have effects that we can change on the fly.
Okay.
So you can change the sound as it goes along. And then I also play on the whistle. So sometimes, but sometimes I play like just like on a synth lead on the synth, and then I'll play on the whistle. And while I'm playing on the whistle, Eugene is playing like a drone on the hurdy-gurdy, and then reaching over and pushing buttons on the MIDI keyboard to place like a drum pad or an effect that comes across. So, and it's all quite most of it is all like well timed. Like it's not fully improvised, like we rehearse, and so we know what basically we know almost like what is going to happen, but we have little parts where you can improvise within the context of
within the confines of your setting.
And also I have like a little looper for my whistle. So sometimes we do like a long one song. We have a long intro that builds up where with just like a small loop on the whistle, and then you keep adding different parts on, and then you add a hurdy-gurdy loop, and then it kind of builds and builds, and then at some point you drop in the drums, and then it just gets bigger and bigger. So.
Okay, yeah, but this is quite an art form, because you know, I tried to play with a looper once as well, and you really have to time it right, you know. This is because all the layers wouldn't work if you're kind of a little bit a few seconds behind or something, you know, the whole thing falls flat. So it's quite impressive that you're able to do it. So what I'm hearing here is you have some preset drum tracks and samples, of course, but you still do it live, because this is the issue I often see with artists who do with backing tracks. Sometimes we just hit play and then just sing over it or play a little bit guitar over things, and then that's it. There's not much happening. And if you see the same show twice, you see exactly maybe the same order and stuff. So here it seems like there's more randomness in the whole setting, so that it's that I can always see something new, and you are improvising on stage and not always giving the same performance or the same notes at the same time. And that's an important thing, because this was what I kind of trying to figure out before we talked, that you're kind of seeing like for me you seem like a live band more than a studio band, but it's kind of hard to I had problems to figure out how you do it live, so that's why I wanted to know a little bit more, and it makes it.
It's maybe because we are doing this way. We first we perform live our music, and then we record it differently than other musicians.
Yeah, so your music starts the lifespan first as a live thing, and then later
like
on
improvisation. We improvise a lot when we rehearse.
Okay, so basically your concerts are your petri dish, and then when it's grown to a whole song, then you record it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you go to a studio, or you do a home studio recording?
We do home studio recording.
And you have somebody who mixing and mastering the stuff, or also is it you're doing?
We did everything before by ourselves, and then we master our album Many Kettles, one of our albums. And
we had it mastered by
we had it mastered
by someone else.
Yes,
Kettles.
but we are doing mixing by ourselves, and now we decided to do mastering with a good professional, because who have like good analog studio or something like this.
Yeah, and it's also important. I mean, you
yes,
seem
I think it's important.
yeah,
But
no,
we
no,
do the mixing ourselves and the recording.
okay, but so yeah, I think this is important because another thing is you two seem to be quite in sync when it comes music wise. You know, you play off each other well. It seems so, but how do you decide when a song is finished? You know, I mean, when you say okay now, because if it starts with improvisation, that's actually the cool thing because it's a lively, organic thing. But when do you decide? Okay, this song is now ready to be kind of let's set in stone, no kind of freeze in time, and this is how the song will sound, and then you record it for the album. How do you decide this? How do you get to this decision part?
I think probably that normally happens when we actually record, because we kind of usually begin by trying to recreate the same thing or something similar to what is live. But in that process of recording, it also quite often changes a little bit. So it won't be exactly the same as how.
Okay, so your songs are never really set in stone. It's just when you record it in the studio, it's the snapshot of a day, how you record it, and the next day you would play it a little bit different, right?
Possibly not the next day, but over time, everything.
Over time, yeah.
Yeah, we have some songs that we used to play. Slowly, we stopped playing them, but some of the older songs have had like maybe four different versions, and they just keep we just kept changing them, and then we did something new, and then got rid of something else, and then the new thing changed a little bit, and because I think you get bored if you play everything exactly the same every time. In the end, you start to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely with you, and it's also nicer for the audience because you know the audience has the album and comes to you and already has the album in the back of its head. So if you play them exactly the same, you know, I don't get like AC/DC or something playing the same songs for 50 years. I think I would be so bored. So I'm more with you, you know, that it's kind of it needs to be interesting for you as well, so that you're really invested in the music and do something live. I mean, that's what life is, you know, not doing exactly the same as you froze in time at this day in the studio, you know. So okay, but how? Still, I want to pry a little bit more here. How do you decide for you both that you are happy and ready to that it should stay this way? Because you know, with your improvisational approach, it can always, you know, be changed or different and stuff. So, but you have to make a decision that okay, this recording stays now like this.
You mean when we actually record it for an album, or when?
Yes. When do you because when you know when it can go endless, but you know we could do it another take, and every take would be different. But you know you have to say okay, I mean let's do only 10 takes at the maximum, and then take the best of it.
I just think when we decide to record, we just record however the song is at that moment, and we just record it, and it's normally quite well rehearsed because we play a lot of shows, so we just record. Try not to record too many takes because if you record too much, then they end up all being the same or a little bit different. After a while, I notice you just play exactly the same thing or something a little bit different, and then it just takes hours to choose. So I think when you record, you just have to go and play it, and if you're happy, then that's good, then it stays. If you're not happy, then do it again. But
Okay. So you're.
But we have, but it's not like only improvised things. We have structure, and they always like composed.
Yes, but quite often we change the structure around. Like if we have, if we recorded the hurdy-gurdy for a song, and the hurdy-gurdy has a long solo, and we might totally change the drums, for instance, and might have totally different drums, and we could totally change the arrangement while we're recording, and so it will come out as something else.
Yeah, and I just realized as we were talking that, there's only two of you, so even if you record it at this day, and you can only play one instrument at a time. So there will be, you have to play it, one in. Maybe you start with the drums, and then you lay this over, this over, this over. So there will be a layered approach anyway. It needs to be, because you cannot play all at once. So then I guess, it's a lengthy process, but then that's why you don't take maybe so many takes then, because the ground things. I mean, you just said the drums can shift, but then the whole other structure would fall apart as well, wouldn't it?
If you change the drums.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It will be different, but no. I mean, the timing of the drums may be the same. Yeah.
Okay.
Have a different sound, or
okay. Just sound. Yeah, of course. Sound you can always change.
You could change the rhythm, between. You still got to keep the beat. But.
Okay. So, is there any?
Confusing to everyone, but never mind.
Yeah, no, it's just I'm still trying to figure out how you work, and because it seems so fluid, your working environment. I mean, this is like Eugene said. Usually bands, are at home or in the studio and then record things. And then play them live, So we have it, and you have it kind of backwards. You first start out with not backwards. You know what I mean. You have a different approach. You jam basically things live, and then record them somewhere along the lines later. And so. Yeah, and then now with a recording process, I was just thinking, of course, you can. If you would be a whole band, you can jam together, and play everything live and record everything live. But you can't, because it's only the two of you. So there will be some structures you have to jam to, and there I got confused with if you change the drums. But if you just change the sounds, it's fine.
I think we do it because we used to do it in Ukraine, and in Ukraine is much poorer than UK, and musicians in Ukraine especially when I was young, they sometimes they hadn't opportunity to record their things. And they just play at shows. And then when they have opportunity, they record things. And sometimes it's happened now, or now it's better because people have computers and they can record ourselves at home, but it's still very expensive to go for studios. And this approach, when musicians firstly record music, it was very new for me, actually. When I came to UK, I saw it, but in Ukraine, it's absolutely different. I think this is just old style approach.
Exactly. No, it's actually the better style in a way, because you have tested material, because if you have a show and you have the feedback right away from the audience, I mean, even other musicians who record their music first, they also are musicians, and they hear it, and they don't do bad stuff because they do it the other way around. But you kind of have a tried formula, basically. You have a tried setting, and you see if your if your fans are dancing or not, basically, and so you know what works and doesn't work, and can kind of recreate it in the studio. So is there any way that you show the works? I mean, that's a stupid question now, because you do, that you go after your fans and record the fan favorites, or you're recording the ones you want to hear and change them in your ways, or how much do you do fan service with the music, that or does it all go together, and you just have the good feeling with the music? I mean, did you record something just like you saw the fans are most happy about, and put a little bit fan service in there, for example, and you would have done it differently? That's my point I wanted to make.
I'm not sure. Do you understand the question?
Partly.
No,
Do we record?
It's not a very important. Don't think.
Он спрашивал просто, мы записываем то, что любит фанов, или то, что мы хотим записывать, или то.
No, we record what we like.
Okay. So you're strong. It's your way or the highway, and and it's fine. I mean, honestly, this is the best way, of course. But I just wanted to hear, I mean, you're not doing saccharine pop music, that plays in an elevator or in a shopping mall or something, that you have to kind of hit the mainstream audience. So this is absolutely the right thing to do, because as artists, you should kind of express what you wanted to hear and how you want to do it. But as you are doing it first live and then recording it, I just was thinking it could be that you kind of do the things that work live very well with your audience more in their favor. You see what I mean? That the more dancey parts or whatever is going on in your concerts when you are playing live.
I'm not sure. The other thing is as well, like because our shows don't normally go like 3-minute song break, 4-minute song. Like we can string like 4 different songs together.
Mm-hmm.
And
sometimes our show, it's like one composition. It's a lot
one
of
continuous stream of music.
But они переходят на в другую.
But one song like goes into another one. There's like a transition.
Like for 40 minutes, for half an hour or 40 minutes, and we rehearse how we will do it, so it will be очень красиво.
So it will be really great, beautiful.
Yes,
Красивый,
and we even rehearse dancing and movements and everything. So it will be like theater, something like.
Okay. Yeah.
So when people clap at the end, you don't know which part they're clapping.
Okay. And also because
and the atmosphere is kind of all one.
It's like one. It's like theater, spectacle.
Like a theater, yeah. Like
a spectacle. Yeah. No, I got it. So actually, this is a little problem then for you, because to record, I just need to check your Spotify again, because this is, I mean, you can put a 40-minute song on Spotify, but so you kind of have to hack your things a little bit and make the transitions a little bit more, or you need to make your songs more Spotify friendly, streaming friendly, to keep them, you cannot make a 40 minutes. I mean, you can, but most likely nobody would listen to a 40-minute song from a band which we have not seen live.
But on live shows it's very special, because we are trying to create special atmosphere. Like people came to theater and they came to see show, and they it's like or film or something like this. And they are different, but songs are different. I don't know.
No, and I really like this in performers, I have to admit, because, I don't, let's put it this way, I like that you can see from a performer if they take the audience seriously, and this means, like you said, I guess you're also dressing up and you have special clothes for it and you give them dance routines and, this is, the opposite would be like a rock band, just like in T-shirts and in jeans, and now we're in the audience and now we are on stage and they look exactly the same. It's fine, I mean, they're making a different kind of music, but also if you take your audience a little bit seriously, you give them a real show. I mean, this is what people expect and want, they want to be we want to have a little spectacle when we go out and enjoy music, so you're more like a more like a traditional orchestra, two-man orchestra, maybe, where you so but the audience is still dancing, right? I mean, because your stuff is quite moving. I cannot imagine that people will sit down and just listen to the music like this, right? We're still dancing.
No. And we feel uncomfortable when it's like зал, где люди сидят.
If it's like a seated venue, it's quite strange.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But we
exactly.
but we never put special clothes because firstly because we haven't money to buy special clothes, and this is our vision, что люди могут, ты можешь делать, не одевать что-то такое хорошее.
That you don't have to put on something really beautiful,
чтобы заворожить людей своей музыкой.
To affect people with your music.
You can be very good performer and very good musician, and this is the main thing, not your clothes, not your appearance.
Yeah, okay, no, I get it, but still, I mean, with your clothes, you still set a statement, that's what I mean. Maybe you don't have like especially special costumes or something for your show, but I guess you still dress in something that you really like and what you think fitting for the evening when you perform, not just
so.
a jogging pants and stuff. Pardon me?
I dress just jeans and t-shirts.
Really?
Because it's very hard to play hurdy-gurdy, to dance, to sing. And
okay. I would have not expected that. Okay.
Actually, most people sit down and play the hurdy-gurdy.
Because I'm bad after all my shows. I'm really bad. I always in like short top or something like this. So.
You disappoint me, Eugene.
I'm sorry.
I thought you're such an artist, and you're coming out like a diva or something, and dancing and like okay. Now but I get your point. But I thought it would be different. Anyway, it's I get it, of course.
I said that I'm from absolutely different background and I'm quite simple person. And this is why people like us a lot, because we are just like обычные, like ordinary people.
You're simple and approachable.
We're very honest.
Okay. No, I mean, I didn't mean that you have kind of to put on like a rock star persona, and be, very on a high horse or a high pedestal or something. That's not what I meant. But okay, I wouldn't have not pictured you in jeans and a sweatshirt with a hurdy-gurdy. But yeah, of course, it's
we believe in like hard work and in honesty and emotions. This is our approach.
And I think you could say to this approach that you want the music to speak for itself and not kind of blend the audience with shiny clothes or something. But even I like that also. So that's why I was maybe a little bit misled by you saying for you it's a theater and spectacle, because this goes for me hand in hand with some extra clothing for the stage that's what I see under spectacle. But you mean kind of a dancing and what's
Dancing
your
and speaking
spectacle?
sometimes, because I have studied theater, like actor, like speech, and even I directed some spectacle.
Theater productions.
Yes, so
Okay.
but it's not about costumes or something like this. Because
I'm a bit disappointed, but this is just me, Anyway, your music is great, so no problem here, and it speaks for itself. So I get this approach as well, that you kind of you step behind the music, and I mean this is the reason why we're talking today, because I want to get to know the person behind the music and see you as normal people and quite approachable. Have you ever tried to find a label for your music? Because I think you're self, self. How you say self? Now I forgot the word. You release your stuff on your own. That's what I mean. You're an independent artist. That's it.
I don't know. Have we thought about labels, but
we really want to work with labels.
We would really like to work with a label, but we don't want to work with like a really small label, because not that we have anything against small labels, but we feel like we can,
because we have audience all over the world, and we did it for a lot of years, and
but if there was an opportunity, I think we would sign to a bigger label, definitely, and because that would help us a lot. But generally, at the moment we're doing everything ourselves, and it's quite hard. Like we would be quite happy to delegate things to other people. But that's
who wouldn't like that?
Especially some of the organizational things, and it takes a lot of time.
And have you approached labels, or how do you want to get approached by them?
I don't know if we really even know how to approach a label or what label to approach. Maybe that's
But okay, here I can help. I don't know. Submit Hub, right?
Yes.
You can also send your music to labels there. So and if you, I mean, I guess your biggest problem is with your. You are very genre fluid. It's not really clear how to place it, and I hate it in a way that there are categories. But on the other hand, as of today, as you know now, Eugene, here in the Western Hemisphere, everyone can make music with his iPhone and can distribute it through various providers and stuff. So in a way, you need kind of categories where to put things, because otherwise, I'm a radio DJ as well. You get so much stuff that is not your taste, so you need to sort out things beforehand. So even if it's hurtful for your kind of music, because it doesn't really fit in any real category, it's something on its own. That's something positive, but it's something negative because you cannot place it. So, like we talked in the beginning, if it would be doom metal, you can put it in the category doom metal, but it's not. But it has doom metal elements. A Carpathian folk music, yes, but not completely. And folk music or medieval folk music, maybe a little bit, but not completely. So it's hard to.
No, we haven't any medieval folk music.
Medieval we don't have,
because we just don't really like.
But just with a hurdy-gurdy, you get set in this thing. It's an old instrument, and people will feel it like this. So I'm just giving you. It will be a little bit tough to place you, and I tried to ask you in the beginning also to kind of describe your style and what it is, and you gave me a big list of things what it is. So my recommendation to you is to check out SubmitHub, and there is a special category for labels in there, and that you kind of maybe do a reverse search, that you look which labels like what kind of music, and then you approach them directly. That would be working. But on there, I mean, there's some bigger labels on there as well. You know, not just small ones, but bigger ones as well. So, I mean, if you have the time, because it takes some time to do the research here. Okay. We are over the hour mark, and usually I try to keep it just about an hour. I mean, we can still go on, because I have like one or two questions I always like to ask. And as you are, live performers usually, not at the moment, but this will hopefully change in the future soonish. So was there any funny stage accident or something what happened with the audience as you were performing live? I mean, was there some memorable, funny thing what happened, if you want to share it?
Yes. How many? And which one?
You can share three. Maybe.
St. Petersburg.
Okay.
When we played in St. Petersburg.
I'll share a touring story. There's some funny stage stories as well, but this one is a backstage story mainly. And it happened when we were supposed to be playing in St. Petersburg. And my job was to go and get the train tickets for our tour in St. Petersburg. And our train left at 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And it got there. But I kind of got the times confused.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't write it in 24 hours.
He thought it's 10 p.m.
I thought it was 10 p.m. rather than...
It was 10 a.m.
Yes, but in Russian it's
rather than
just
22:00. But so basically, I thought we were going at 10, and it was 10 p.m. written on the tickets, but it was 10 a.m. But they didn't write a.m. or p.m.
in Russia.
Okay.
They just wrote 10.
Yes, and Paul thought it's 10 p.m.
I thought it was 10 p.m. because I couldn't possibly, in my mind, imagine that you could go anywhere on a train for nearly 40 hours. So I thought we left at 10 o'clock, and because I knew what time we got there, so it must be 10 p.m.
Oh,
it wasn't.
Okay.
It was.
Okay.
I don't know how we made this mistake actually, but.
Когда мы завтракали, я попросила у тебя билет.
But when we're sitting eating breakfast and with a friend and laughing about. He told us a story about how his friends from Crimea came to see a famous punk band in Kiev called Гражданская
оборона. И они
оборона.
пришли в другом месяце, потому что они не знали этот месяц по-украински, они перепутали.
And because they speak Russian a lot rather than Ukrainian in Crimea, they didn't know the months in Ukrainian.
И они перепутали
and they
месяц.
mixed the month up.
И приехали на месяц раньше.
So they came a month early.
Я попросила показать наши билеты.
So
we came to the wrong month. We came at the wrong month.
So we talk about this song and
about this не song.
We're talking about this event that happened.
And we laughed at our friends.
And we were laughing, and I said they're just idiots. And then
and look who's talking.
Go get our tickets, and like looking at the tickets, and we realized that our train is already at this very moment leaving. And so we realized that we had done something very similar, and it was like a big panic. And we still had a few things to get together. So we flung all our things together, got to the train station, and the plan was, because we were told that we could do this, is we were going to get the train to Moscow because there's no more trains to St. Petersburg.
It's a long way. And
the next one was too late the next day. So we were going to go to Moscow because there's lots of trains to Moscow, and then we were going to get on the high-speed train. And we were told, "Oh, don't worry, get on the high-speed train. You'll get there." So that was the plan. Went on the night train to Moscow. We got to Moscow.
Когда мы приехали в Москву, оказалось, что нету ни самолетов, ни trains, ни buses.
And so when we got to Moscow, there was nothing, not a plane, no trains. The high-speed train was full. There was no planes. There was no way. There were some buses, but we wouldn't have got there in time. There were no buses. The trains that were leaving were the slow trains, and we weren't going to get there in time. We didn't know what to do, and then this guy in the train station just came up to me and said, "Do you need to go to St. Petersburg?" We're like, "Yes." He says, "Oh, come with me." So
Мы ехали 11 часов.
And they said they guaranteed that we would get there in time, but they just lied, so we didn't get there.
Мы ехали 11 часов.
So it took 11 hours to get from Moscow to St. Petersburg.
In this car.
In this van with quite a few other people, and our gear was like in a trailer in the back. And at that time we had a lot more gear. And there's a terrible roads, and we even had had a very fragile instrument in the back of this trailer, and like a huge thing in the back of this trailer, and it was like going up and
bumping
down,
up and down, yeah.
And at one point I said to him, you said we're going to get there at this time, and look, it's quite late, and he's like, if it wasn't for your balalaikas in the back.
So you're the problem.
So if it wasn't for your balalaikas in the back, we'd be there already. So it was a very stressful journey.
It was not very funny.
But it was very funny, and eventually we arrived in St. Petersburg. When we got there, there was like a huge traffic jam coming into town just because it was like that time of day. So, but we're playing, we kind of still played our show, but we were late, but we played the whole show, so it was okay. And the next day, on Facebook, I looked on Facebook, and it was someone said, Tangerinecat came in, cool, calm, and collected.
But we weren't calm. It was horrible journey.
Drunk their tea, and then went on to stay but we had to drink some green tea just to
because we didn't eat from.
We didn't eat all day. We had to just calm down a little bit and then go on.
This is really hardcore.
It is like Tangerinecat just came in. They were really cool. I was like,
so you're really professionals. You're really professionals here. I mean, if you can survive in Russia, I think UK is a piece of cake. Huh? There should be better roads and better transportation.
Yeah.
Yes.
The thing we liked most about coming to UK, I guess, was not the thing, but one of the things we liked most about touring in UK is that you can drive for an hour to the next town and then 2 hours, whereas the distances are much bigger, and we traveled everywhere by train. It was most places were at least 12 hours we were traveling on train overnight. So it's a huge difference when you can do it that way.
And you mean by that UK is much more densely populated, so even if you drive there for half an hour, you hit already 3 different towns or something? Or what do you mean?
Yeah, but also the trains are quite... they mainly have night trains in Ukraine, and they, so to get
Ukraine is bigger.
It's big. It's twice the size of UK, first of all, and it is much more spread out, but the transport is also slower. It's so normally, quite often, most places that we would travel to, it would be overnight, 12 hours on the train, if not, sometimes more, depending, where you're traveling. and it's the sleeper train.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in UK for 12 hours, I think you can get right as far as you can get further than you can get right up to the tip of Scotland from where we are. Like,
I see. So it's a little bit more calmer and a little bit less. I have a word in German, but entschleunigt, but I don't know how to say it in English. This is, not, oh, you need to hurry and you need to go there. And, hectic. It's kind of calmer and, everything takes its time. So it seems like, this is what you like more, that it takes time, but it's also not hectic and not so fast, so it has you can let your mind wander a little bit better. So for me it seems like that's what you like more on it.
Do you mean about UK or I'm confused?
In the Ukraine, because everything takes a little bit longer. The trains are slower, and it's not so hectic. It's it's like it's not fast food. It's slow food. It's kind of
No, it's very uncomfortable.
But it's not...
You can't sleep on this kind of train.
Okay,
it's very old and very smelly, and it will be better.
But didn't you just said? I mean, Paul just said that he likes it more in the Ukraine.
No, I like it more in UK. I like it
okay. So I got you wrong. Sorry, I got you wrong.
Because it's much easier. You can plan a tour and you can do the whole. You can. I know you just don't have to allow so much time.
Okay, this makes sense then. Okay, I got you wrong.
Mm-hmm. You can do more. It's less tiring. It's a lot easier.
I see. Okay, so thank you very much. So I wish you all the best. UK, like we just. I mean, I don't want to talk about the pandemic once again, but the vaccination just happened in the UK, just started in the UK. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. And your new album is coming out next year. So if you don't forget me, please hit me up. I would like to hear what you're coming up with, and I can play you in my radio show. Even if this is just a small show.
Thank you very much. Yes, of course.
It's a little bit of airplay. So any last words to the audience? Anything you want to share before we close this conversation? Any wisdom you want to impart on the world? You don't have to.
I don't know.
I was just going to say thank you very much for taking your time to.
Okay, thank you for your time.
This interview and.
Thank you for your honesty about costumes, etc.
Yeah, no. But this is. I told you. I told you. This is not an interview. This is a conversation, and of course, I have my point of view, and I get yours. It's fine, but we don't have to agree on everything, It's and I don't think you don't take your audience not seriously. I think you take it quite seriously, but you do it in a different way than I would do it, and that's absolutely fine. There is no. That's the cool thing with music. There is no right or wrong, There is just something you like or you don't like, and so it's the same with the clothes, You're going more. I would have not pictured you to go for more the casual wear because you want to feel comfortable, but it makes absolutely sense, But it's not how I would pictured you and how I would do it. So I would always try to dress up a little bit for a concert. That people can see, oh, this is not how he usually looks. But this is fine if we disagree. If we disagree on things. I'm not right and you're not right. We're both wrong. I don't know. No. It's just there is no right or wrong. Like in music, either you like it or you don't like it, and. The most important thing you already got, you need to be comfortable with it and on how you do it. Because, if you really think about it, if you put yourself in a costume just because I said that, and you don't feel comfortable, and you feel like, it's not really me, then the music would suffer. So it would be really stupid to do something just because somebody told you to. So I mean, stay your way. You're doing it right, your way. So now I have a last word. I guess
I already had some plans now.
I mean, you can make a dichotomy. Like she goes in jogging pants on stage, and you go there as a dressed up.
Is he or they, not she. I'm not a woman.
Okay, sorry. So how should I address you?
He or they.
He or they. Okay. So it's okay. So they go on in jogging pants and stuff, and you have a glitzer, a glitty whatever dress up thing. So just to anyway, it was just a joke. Sorry. Okay. I leave you with my very bad attempt of a stupid joke, and thank you for your time.
It was a pleasure.
I wish you all the best. Please don't forget me and send me your music once it's out, and let me know. I mean, you're currently in my playlist, and I hope to put in more stuff in the future. So have a nice evening in the UK, and just hit me up if there's something new to tell, and if you want to talk again.